Welcome to the CLCH Introduction to Solids video. In the video, we will talk to you through what you need to know and give you some basic advice. For health reasons, we recommend that babies are fed solely on breast milk or first infant formula for the first 6 months. Introducing solids earlier than this can increase the risk of food allergies, food intolerance, and obesity. This will also give enough time for their gut to mature and for them to be physically developed enough to move food around their mouth and as well as chew and swallow. Before starting to introduce solids, make sure that your baby is able to do the following for at least a week. Hold their head up unsupported, focus and look at what they are picking up or playing with, sit up with minimal support. If you haven't seen these signs by 6 months, talk to your health visitor.
So, your baby is coming up to 6 months. What do you need to get to prepare? A high chair. Strapping your baby safely into a high chair keeps them in an upright position so they are able to swallow. Make sure that they are able to rest their feet on a footrest to give them support. A plastic or a wood bowl. This may end up on the floor, so make sure it's not breakable. A spoon. A rubber or plastic baby spoon will be softer on your baby's gums. Bibs. Pelican bibs that catch dropped food can be useful in the beginning. A free flow cup. Encourage your baby to sip water from a cup with their meals. This is better for their teeth than a bottle. A mat or newspaper. Put this under the high chair to protect your floor. Your baby is likely to make a mess while they're learning and exploring new foods. Patience. There will be mess and there will be food waste. Remember, your baby is learning how to eat and exploring all the new tastes and textures.
There are a lot of different opinions on whether babies should start on purees fed off a spoon or whether they should feed themselves finger foods. There are pros and cons to each method, but what it comes down to is what works for you and your baby. There is no reason why you can't do a mixture of both. In fact, this is a good idea.
Babies are born with a preference for sweet foods over bitter ones. Some research suggests that starting babies on bitter foods can help them have a preference for them later in life. So it's good to start by introducing vegetables first. For example, courgettes, broccoli, or green beans. The first couple of weeks are all about introducing your baby to different tastes. Choose a time when you are both relaxed and have enough time to not have to rush. Start by offering 1 meal a day of a single vegetable or fruit. If you are offering purees, then you can mix this with breast milk, first infant formula, or cow's milk if your baby is over 6 months to make the texture looser. If you're offering finger food, make sure that you can squish it between your finger and thumb, and that it's long enough for your baby to hold. A good place to start would be serving some steamed broccoli alongside some mashed or pureed broccoli. This will help teach your baby about what foods they are eating, as well as giving them a chance to experience tastes and enjoy different textures. Here's an example of some meals you could give in the first 2 weeks. From 6 months, you can offer your baby tap water in a free flow cup.
Once your baby has explored their first tastes, you can move them on to combinations of flavours and more than 1 meal a day. Aim to do this after the first couple of weeks so that gradually, by around 7 months old, they are having 3 small meals a day. After their first taste, you can also quite quickly move into more textured food. Here are some examples. Food should still be soft or cooked well. Include foods from all groups, including fruits and vegetables, starchy carbohydrates, protein, dairy and alternatives, and ensure that they are getting enough iron. Sources of iron include beans, mince, fish and lentils. Remember that milk is still a major source of nutrients for your baby, so keep offering milk feeds in between mealtimes to avoid filling up on milk. Gradually, as your baby begins to eat more solid food, they will naturally decrease the amount of milk they have. Mealtimes are not only about eating, they are about your baby learning to socialise and enjoying spending time as a family. Try taking the focus off how much your baby is eating and concentrate on enjoying spending time as a family.
Once your baby is around 10 months, aim for them to be having family foods mushed and chopped as appropriate. Enjoying a range of foods may encourage an adventurous eater and form healthy habits. They'll be becoming more independent with using a free flow cup and feeding themselves, but will still need guidance and role modelling to support them. The best way to provide this is by eating at the same time as your baby. Here is a rough timeline for the first year of feeding.
Foods high in fat, salt and sugar such as biscuits, cakes, crisps, sausage rolls, ready meals, takeaways and baby pouches. If you do have to give your baby food from a pouch, serve it on a spoon rather than letting them suck it from the pouch. Pre-made baby food pouches and jars have hidden sugar as the main ingredient, often as pureed apple or pear. Once processed, fruit sugars become free sugars, which can cause tooth decay and lead to type 2 diabetes and obesity in later life if consumed in excess. Sugar can also have many different names such as maltodextrin, sucrose, maltose, fructose and dextrose, which can make it difficult to spot on food labels. Instead, cook from scratch at home without adding sugar or salt. Baby cereals and juices, which are often found down the baby food aisle, are also high in sugar and should be avoided. Honey. This is a sugar and contains bacteria which can be harmful to babies under 1 year old. Raw shellfish, as there is a high risk of food poisoning. Shark, swordfish or marlin, as they contain high amounts of mercury. Your baby only needs their usual milk and water, so avoid other drinks such as fizzy drinks, squash, tea and coffee. Don't give your baby rice-based plant milk alternatives until at least 5 years old, as these may contain too much arsenic. Choking hazards such as whole nuts, grapes, whole Babybel cheese and cherry tomatoes need to be modified before offering to your baby. Try ground nuts or nut butters and chop tomatoes and grapes and other small foods into quarters lengthways. Whole nuts not to be offered until your child is 5.
Introduction of common allergens should not be delayed, and we encourage introduction of these foods early on in your baby's solids journey to protect them against the development of allergies. Introduce them one at a time so you can monitor signs or symptoms of an allergic reaction. Hyaluronic foods include eggs, peanuts, nuts, dairy and fish. Signs of an allergic reaction are loose stools and rashes. If you are worried that your baby is having an allergic reaction, then you can call 111 for advice on what to do. If you think that the reaction your baby is experiencing is severe or has breathing difficulties, they become pale or unresponsive, then call 999. If your baby has an allergy or a food intolerance, seek guidance from your GP or health visitor. Don't try cutting out foods without guidance, as your baby might miss out on essential nutrients. Don't be afraid of introducing allergens, as severe allergic reactions on first exposure is very rare. Avoid pressuring or forcing your baby to eat, restricting what they eat, or using food as a reward. Instead, allow them to take control and decide when they are hungry and when they are full. You decide when to feed your baby and what to serve, and they decide how much to eat. Remember, your baby is learning new tastes and textures, so they aren't going to love everything to begin with. If your baby doesn't like something you offer them, be persistent. It can take up to 15 tastes for your baby to accept or reject a certain food. They will make a mess by throwing it on the floor, but this is normal and they are having fun exploring food. Start by offering small portions so they are not overwhelmed, and offer more if they ask for it. You can use your baby's fist as a portion guide. 1 fist of protein, 1 fist of starchy carbohydrates, and 2 fists of fruits and veggies. When babies are trying new foods, they tend to use their gag reflex a lot. They will stick their tongue out and try to push the food out of their mouths. Try not to mix this up with choking. This is why it's crucial to stay with your baby at all times when they are eating. Sitting with your baby will also create a nice and relaxed environment.
Your baby's first teeth will appear around 6 months, but don't worry if they are a little bit earlier or late. Every child develops at a different pace. Interestingly, your baby do not need their teeth to chew their food. They can use the gums. But do get it checked by a dentist if your baby does not get their first teeth by 12 months. As soon as your baby's teeth appear, start brushing them. Use a soft baby toothbrush and a smear of toothpaste with at least 1000 parts per million fluoride, and brush twice a day, once in the morning and once before bed. Wait for an hour after food or milk before brushing their teeth. From 6 months, you can start to offer water in a free flow cup. If you're bottle feeding, you can use this to gradually wean them off bottle feeding and onto using a cup for their milk. Aim to move off the bottle by 10 months, 12 months at the latest. Your baby will ever need milk and water to drink. Never offer them any sweetened drinks or fizzy drinks. It is bad for their teeth as well as their general health. Exclusively breastfed babies do not ever need a bottle. They can go straight from breastfeeding to a free flow cup or open cup. Free flow cups teach your baby to sip rather than suck. Sucking does not develop all the muscles in a baby's jaw, which can lead to speech problems. If your baby is using a dummy, try wean off as soon as possible. Sucking will have impact on formation of their jaw. From 12 months old, your baby should be fully using a free flow cup. Remember to make an appointment with your dentist for your baby's first checkup before their first birthday, and that nursing mother gets free dental checkup till the baby is 1.